As the great man said.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about?
So today I'm going to break down 5 players who will win you your league on the Fantasy First Down. They say you can't win your league in the first couple of rounds, but I totally disagree because I've got 5 league winners from the first 5 rounds that are going to help you in your fantasy leagues this year. If you've got any questions, you can hit me up below in the comments, or you can message me on Instagram at the Fantasy First Down or on Twitter at Fantasy First Down with no O. Plus, you can check out my full rankings over at ffdfantasyfootball.com, and you can see my articles over at rasball.com. Plus, if you want to see my rankings integrated into a projections method, you can also go over to #football.com. But let's start talking league winners. And my favorite is a controversial one. Yes, there's a massive amount of injury risk, but our goal is not to avoid losing our league, it's to win it. And if Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, he will be an absolute bargain at the back end of the first round. You can get him as late as pick 12 in a lot of drafts. And for me, he's a lock to finish as a top 3 running back, having finished as a top 2 back in every healthy season since 2017. Everything out of San Francisco suggests that CMC is fully healthy, looks great, and will receive all the touches he can handle. He's my running back 3 and should go as a top 5 pick if you're in a half PPR league that starts 2 wide receivers. And if you're really worried about his health, simply pick up Isaac Guerrero in the double-digit rounds. In fact, you should probably do that anyway. And if you're on the turn, you are getting tremendous value because you can also get Malik Neighbors. He is currently going based on ADP as the 12th player off the board, meaning one of McCaffrey or Neighbors has a good chance of falling to you on the turn. And if you're lucky, you can get both. Neighbors represents tremendous value at the end of the first round, as I think he has the real potential to be a top 3 wide receiver, with the wide receiver 1 title not totally out of the question. As a rookie, Neighbors was the clear focal point of the Giants' offense, turning 170 targets into a wide receiver 6 finish. But he was badly handicapped by awful quarterback play, leading to a truly dismal efficiency. Give Neighbors the yards per target of any other top 10 receiver, and you have a top 3 wide receiver last season. Now, Russell Wilson isn't anything special, but he's a big step up from Tommy DeVito. So I'm backing Neighbors to make the big second-year jump and win you your leagues along the way. For me, he should be taken anytime after the 7th pick, maybe earlier. That really depends on your league settings. And if you need help with your league because you've got some unusual league settings, I will also set up some personalized league settings for you for a very, very affordable price. Just hit me up at benwasley23@gmail.com, and I'll put together some personalized league rankings just for your league. Now, Seahawks wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba was the wide receiver 7 last year, but he's been drafted late in the 3rd round, often falling into the 4th as the 14th wide receiver off the board. Now, I'd understand that if things had changed for the worse in Seattle, but for me, everything's been a positive for JSN. Sam Darnold is a definitively better passer than Geno Smith. DK Metcalf has been replaced by Cooper Kupp, who is literally a shadow of the hulking receiver in more ways than one these days. And Marquez Valdes-Scantling is the new Tyler Lockett. Yikes. All signs point to more targets, more production, and probably some positive touchdown regression after only 6 scores last year. I'd happily take Smith-Njigba late in the 2nd round in some leagues, but I'll wait until the early 3rd because why not? He's still going to be available. In fact, if I don't have JSN in the majority of my leagues, I'll be very surprised this year. And another guy you can get on the 3-4 turn is George Kittle. He was the tight end 1 last season, despite playing 2 fewer games than Brock Bowers and Trey McBride. In fact, he averaged 2 points more per game. But Bowers and McBride are going in the 2nd round, while you can get Kittle twice as far into the draft. Make it make sense for me. This is my favorite value of the draft. While Kittle doesn't need to improve to pay off, he probably will. Deebo Samuel's out the door. Brandon Ayuk's on the PUP list for the indefinite future. Juwan Jennings is battling a calf injury and asking for a trade. And Ricky Pearsall only just got off the PUP list himself with hamstring injuries, often lingering into the season, increasing his injury risk. Everything screams another mammoth Kittle season. But even if he doesn't fully pay off, the risk is so low. The 49er has been a top 4 tight end every healthy season since 2017. I'd happily take him any time in the 3rd round, and I'll feel over the moon with my team. And finally, a good option in the 5th round, because Courtland Sutton is going mid-5th round, which is, for me, at least a round too late. The arrival of Bo Nix led Courtland Sutton to his first 1,000-plus yard season since 2019 and his best ever fantasy finish as the PPR wide receiver 15. Nix's second season could lead to a further boost in Sutton's output, as Sutton and Nix's connection improved as the season went on. The veteran receiver was just the wide receiver 46 through 7 weeks, but the rest of the way he finished as the wide receiver 12. That's a big step up. You can get him as the 23rd receiver off the board in the mid-5th round, while I'd happily take him a full round earlier if I needed to. The upside is a top 12 fantasy season, something which is true of very few players in this range. So that's my top 5 league winners that you can get in the first 5 rounds. Did I miss anyone? Do you disagree? Hit me up in the comments below with your thoughts. If you've got any questions, you can also check me out on Instagram at the Fantasy First Down and on Twitter at Fantasy First Down with no O. Plus, we'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I will catch you next time.